Hello and welcome back to Total Extreme Morro, where the best book wrestling monster show, well, not a monster show, actually a shorter show. I have a 4-show arc planned out, so we're going to do 4 events, and I have a different arc planned out for the next one, so I didn't want to jump in to the next piece of storytelling arc. I've been inspired by my viewing of Andor, where they do kind of 3-episode arcs. So that's what we're doing today. We're doing 4 shows, a little arc planned out. It's the last time I'll use the word arc. I wanted to do a little whip around the Irish wrestling scene. We've overtaken Rebel County Wrestling. Maybe the plan to beat their champion was a good idea. Let's see if he's still their champion. Oh, they're losing money too. It's not just me. Queen of RCW is Viper. Sean Custom is their breakout champion. CBL has their championship. Big Rab and Mike Bird are their tag team champions. And the Rebel X champion is Morgan Webster. I think I know why they're losing money. They're probably flying in a lot of guys, are they? Oh, just Morgan Webster, really. And Viper, obviously. Anyone else? Millie McKenzie. Yeah, they're flying in some people. In Hard Knocks, they have a few pound in the bank. Their champions are currently the Hard Knocks British champion. It's Big Bad Dirty Nicky. Their pure champion is Butch Armstrong. And their Universal Tag Team titles are RJ Singh and Chris Conley. NIPW down a few pound too. They've got a good roster, pretty big roster now. They brought in Matthew Bullet Smith after his release, I believe it was, from OTT. Yeah, I need to bring him in. I'm going to bring him in and I'm going to bury him. That's what we're going to do. Let's see who holds the NIPW. The Elite Champion is Be Cool. Good champ. Heavyweight Champion is Bonesaw McGraw. I've got a plan for you, Bonesaw. And their Tag Team Champions are Sam Bailey and Halfdan. Go up to No Limit. Big roster. A few pound in the bank as well. Yeah, big roster there. Who are holding their current titles? Cruiserweight is Luke Frehill, our champ. Bonesaw is also their national champion. Bonesaw doing a bit of a, I was going to say bone collector gimmick. Belt collector. Ballymun Bruiser, the nationwide champion. That seems to be, oh no, their top title seems to be the national heavyweight. And the tag team titles are vacant. That's probably why they have money. If we go to Fight Factory, let's check out their titles. Ooh, the Scoop walked out on Fight Factory. Does it say why? Scoop walks out. Apparently just walked out. Let's see who's holding the Fight Factory titles. Digital is Michael May. Katie Harvey, Women's Champion. Young Jay, Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion. The Irish Tag Team Champions are Rampage Brown and Danny O'Brien. They must be flying in people as well then. Not too many. A few though. But maybe not. Yeah, they've got a big roster. They're flying in a few. And then over to OTT. Let's see who's holding the OTT titles at the moment. Be Cool released by OTT as well. The Mammy's released. Keen Noonan has been released. He is on our roster. Big clear out by Joey, as the game calls him. European champion, so Big Bad Dirty Nicky's holding a European title in OTT, a British title in Hard Knocks. That they have, we knew Carlito won the local rumble, we checked that. Frankie Vendetta is holding the No Limits title. Beat Callum Black for the title, interesting. Chainsaw Luke Frehill, another belt collector, he is a tag champion with Adam Maxted, having beaten Be Cool and Limo. OTT Women's Champion is Leah Owens. Looked at booking her. She costs way too much money. And Big Demo, still the OTT World Champion. Where are we at? So, we've seen Frankie try to claim the bounty last month. Hence, this month's show being called Bounty Hunter. We want to see how Luke reacts. We're bringing in Bonesaw, we're bringing in Nadia Sapphire from Wales, and Luke King Sharp from Scotland. I believe they are the cheapest regions for us to fly people in from. Paddy Morrow hasn't looked for any more money since, but he's still absolutely ripping us off for 220 per show. I believe that's so he can buy Elvis Presley wigs. Whatever you're into, I suppose. You know, who am I to judge? I do wrestling booking games on the internet. Okay, let's get into our Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show's Bounty Hunter. In the main event, we got Tucker defending our heavyweight championship versus Luke King Sharp. We have Nadia Sapphire in from Wales versus Raven Creed. Chainsaw versus Frankie, if Chainsaw makes the building. Big Bad Dirty Nikki versus Bonesaw. And Keen Noonan versus Young Darragh, opening the show. So Keen Noonan beats Young Darragh with an Oscutter in 6 minutes. Decent performances. Young Darragh is improving immensely. Very good from Keen Noonan. Inconsistency, which comes with inexperience. So, good start to the show, Corden. So, this is a major segment. We get Frankie Vendetta coming out. Calls out Edward Stewart Tate. Wants his bounty. Wants his 10k. Edward Stewart Tate says, "You didn't finish the job, Frankie. You're getting your down payment of 5k. When you finish the job, you will get the 10k. Frankie's not happy. Luke Frehill storms the ring. Frankie and Edward Stewart Tate bail. Luke Frehill says he will crush Frankie tonight, and he will go on to crush Tucker and take the heavyweight championship. So we get Frankie versus Luke tonight. Frankie's not happy. He hasn't got the full bounty. Big Bad Dirty Nikki goes over Bonesaw McGraw in a fantastic match. And this is where it all goes. Frankie wins via pinfall, double arm DDT after interference from Edward Stewart Twat. Chainsaw has suffered a loss. Frankie's picked up a huge win, albeit a tainted, hollow victory. Raven Creed makes another defense of her women's heavyweight championship. Great performance from her, carried the match. She foreshadowed a face turn during the match. We get Edward Stewart Tate and Tucker backstage before Tucker's main event. Edward Stewart Tate is telling him not to worry about Luke Frehill. The situation is under control. That bonehead Frankie is going to come good on the promise to take out Tate once and for all. He didn't injure Tate tonight. He didn't incapacitate Tate or Luke tonight, but it will be done. Main event, Tucker beats Luke King Sharp in a quite a decent match, actually. Makes defense number 6 of the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show heavyweight title. I think this was a successful night for the company. Overall rating 44, one of our better shows. We've pushed on the storyline. Who are we going to congratulate? Young Darragh. He's improving. And Frankie Vendetta did a good job up and down the card, both in his match and in his talking segment. So, financial report down 900. Let's have a look at workers. It seems we didn't. Did we pay travel for Scotland and Wales? I know there's certain markets you pay less travel for. It looks like we brought in 2 workers. Bonuses and perks is where the travel goes. I think we can get Scottish and Welsh workers without paying travel, to be perfectly honest. We haven't increased our popularity as such in our home region, only a marginal gain. That's going to happen a bit now that it's not going to happen every show like it was before, because we're charging for tickets But yeah, we're coming back for the next show. We'll see the fallout of Tate helping Frankie to beat Luke. That Luke can't get a title shot off a loss. That's kind of the main thing to consider there. Raven's making a face turn, or the fans kind of turning her face. She's a dominant champion. She's here every show. The fans are just enamored with her at the moment, so she's starting to lean into that, as she should. Young Darragh's losing streak continues. Another huge win for Big Bad Dirty Nikki. It's all kicking off on the Wrestling Fan. Back with actually our 12th show ever. And we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary. We've renamed Medieval Melee next month to our first anniversary show. In the great Irish tradition, we'll be running anniversary shows. Huge card tonight. Be Cool is here to challenge Tucker. Be Cool is holding titles up and down the length and breadth of the country. He's here to challenge Tucker for the heavyweight title. Debbie Dahmer's over from Scotland to take on Raven Creed. Luke Frehill gets back on the wagon. He's beaten up, he's battered, he's bruised, but he's taking on Ilya Zarkov. We got Keen Noonan versus the Kingslayer Jay. And we got Frankie Vendetta opening the show against hapless loser, the man on the losing streak, young Darragh. Let's just get straight into it. Frankie Vendetta beats young Darragh in a freaking great match. That's a really good match. Double arm DDT. Frankie's on a bit of a roll. Straight away after the match, Frankie calls out Edward Stewart Tate. He says he's beaten up Luke Frehill. He snapped Luke Frehill's win streak. He stopped Luke Frehill from being the number one contender here tonight. He wants the remainder of the bounty. And he says if he doesn't get it in cash, he'll get it in blood. Edward Stewart Tate responds, not until you finish the job. Keen Noonan beats Kingslayer Jay in 12 minutes. Very good match. Jay's performances are underwhelming at the minute. Pick your shit up, Jay. Excellent from Keen Noonan. Chainsaw Luke Frehill gets a very good win over Ilya Zarkov in 10 minutes. A good match. Two decent performances. Zarkov has certainly improved. And after the match, Frankie Vendetta has railroaded Chainsaw Luke Frehill. He's attacking the ribs and shoulder of Frehill over and over and over and over again. Like it's a sustained attack, if you will, if that's what you want. It's a sustained attack on the ribs and shoulder of Luke Frehill. Frankie walks off laughing. A maniac. He's totally lost it. He wants the cash. Raven Creed makes defense number 7 of the women's title. Again, she's using subtle mannerisms, very nice, to hint at a future face turn. Crowd is really getting behind her. Her performances are exceptional. She had carried Debbie Dahmer to a match here. Debbie, I picked you because you had very good basics, and you let me down, frankly. Thank God we only brought you in for one night. Thank you, Debbie. Get back on your flight to Scotland. 43 people here in the Pegasus nightclub. And then we get Tucker defeats Be Cool in the best match in company history. Exceptional performance from Tucker. A fantastic performance from Be Cool. They went 15 minutes. Rating of 50. That's huge for us. I think 48 is our biggest ever. Defense number 7 of the title. That 8 is wrong. Worker chemistry. They had good chemistry, so we got a bonus for that. Done to a very hot crowd. Be Cool is penalised for stamina. Tucker penalised for physical condition. Didn't really matter. They put on a fantastic performance. And Chainsaw hits the ring after the world title, runs off Tucker, runs off Edward Stewart Tate, cuts a promo on Tate, on Tucker, and most of all on Frankie. He says, Frankie, first anniversary show, 1 month tonight. Luke Frehill, Frankie Vendetta, 1v1, grudge match, no disqualifications, no holds barred. Anything goes. He said he spoke to All Elite Morro, and All Elite Morro said, yes, baby, make the psycho bleed. Let's see how we do now in terms of... That's an excellent show again. We're on a run of fantastic shows. Address the locker room. Who haven't we really praised a lot? Do you know what? Tucker's a guy now hasn't got a whole lot of praise off us for someone who has been putting on one exceptional performance after another. Who else do I want to praise there? Do you know what? Be cool. Send him away happy. He might want to come back and do some more dates with us. Look at the big smiley head in him. See, please, that's the face he made at me in the dressing room after I made the speech praising him for a great performance. He's smiling up at me like that. Thanks, Barry. Barry cool. Barry cool. Workers, yeah, not too bad. We're keeping worker costs down. Look, we're down 15k in total. We do have time to get that back on track. But yeah, we're down at... See, I'm trying to cut worker costs as much as possible at the minute. We were spending like 800 or 1,000. I'm not doing that at the minute. I'm trying to keep it under 7. Reason being is I'm once again upgrading our merchandising department so we can actually do mail order merchandise, not mail as in man, mail as in postal merchandise. And that's costing us 100 a week, so I'm trying to save money on worker costs. So yeah, no flight money, basic pay $690, not too bad. Marketing 75, venue hire 200, production 100, and miscellaneous still hanging around at 38 because people are spending money on me. And we have increased once again in popularity. We're up to a 9. Not too bad. Let's get to the 1 year anniversary monster show. Frankie Vendetta, Chainsaw Luke Frehill, no disqualification, no time limit, no holds barred, no fucking... What? No what? Massive match. This is it, the anniversary show, the biggest show in company history. The no holds barred, no disqualification, die in the ring, hardcore death match, Kilkenny death match between Frankie Vendetta and Chainsaw Luke Frehill is main eventing the show. Maxer is here to take on Tucker for the heavyweight title. Emerson Jane is over from Scotland to take on Creed for that heavyweight title. Keane Noonan and Boots Murphy, Nathan Murphy forever, will take on the Kingslayer J and Young Darragh. Big Bad Dirty Nicky versus Galacini. And Edward Stewart Tate has requested a conversation with Frankie Vendetta to open the show. Let's rock and roll. We put in a tag match. We spent a little bit more money on this one. It's the anniversary show. It is the anniversary show. Let's go. So Frankie and Edward open the show. Fantastic segment rating there. 51 people. New record. 51 people paid into the Pegasus nightclub in Kilkenny for our first anniversary show. Edward Stewart Tate says, this is your last chance, Frankie, if you want to claim that extra 5k. Chainsaw Luke Frehill cannot walk out of the main event tonight. So everything is set up in your favour. Weapons, violence, and victory is what Edward Stewart Tate demands. Frankie's response is, have the cash ready. He's collecting tonight. Big Bad Dirty Nicky beats Galacini by submission in 10 minutes. Decent match. Big Bad Dirty Nicky is putting in... It's on a string of fantastic performances, let's be perfectly honest. Top heel type stuff. The Kingslayer J and Young Darragh didn't work well as a team. At least they said their chemistry wasn't... They didn't say the chemistry was awful, so that's a positive. Keane Noonan stole the show here in this one. Still a very good match. Keane Noonan pinned Jay with a hidden blade. That's 2 pins for Keane over Jay in the last 2 shows. Edward Stewart Tate did some good work at ringside. Young Darragh, performances increasing. He was at a 20 the last few shows. He's up to a 21. It looks like Kingslayer Jay got a bit of a penalty as regards to the chemistry, and a very good performance again from Nathan Murphy, forever back on the show after being double booked for some previous shows. But as Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show continues to become the premier Irish operation in professional wrestling, then we won't have those double booking issues. Raven Creed and Emerson Jen had one hell of a match. Raven Creed with a 54. That might be the best single performance a wrestler has ever put on in our ring. Defense number 8 for Raven Creed. Emerson Jen, decent performance, especially even considering the fact she seemed a little bit off her game. That could have been a very good performance, but excellent match. Title match, Maxer versus Tucker. Excellent match as well. Maxer off his game a little bit, still a good performance, and like he came in there with just showed up for a title match and had that level of performance. I think he's the guy, if we brought in and heated him up over time, he'd be putting in top tier performances for the company. Defense number 8 of the title, wins by super kick, Tucker over Maxer. 2 legends of the Irish game. Maxer's gimmick of the Ireland's best kept secret achieved great success. Gives a large boost to microphone skills during angles. Very good. Now it's time for the main event. Chainsaw Luke Frehill, Frankie Vendetta. No disqualification, no holds barred. Anything goes. Banger of a match. Frankie was tiring towards the end. Hit the fucking road, Frankie. I need to get this guy out on the road. Get that stamina up. Pinfall with the Western Lariat in 11 minutes. This type of match was brutal. It was bloody. Chainsaw picks up a huge win here. Chainsaw came in with the ribs and shoulders taped. Frankie targeted the ribs and shoulder early, trying to take the wind out of Chainsaw. Frankie was working at a ridiculous pace, trying to get this match done, trying to injure Chainsaw. We got double juice here. These guys are bleeding all over each other. Early, Frankie targets the ribs and shoulders. He can't keep Chainsaw down. He introduces weapons, chairs, tables, tacks, you fucking name it. Frankie Vendetta was introducing that shit. He brought out his trusty bat. That's where it all got turned around. Luke was able to take the bat, target Frankie's ribs, and then finish him off with a huge Western Lariat. We have a number 1 contender. Chainsaw Luke Frehill grabs the mic. Edward Stewart Tate, who tried to interfere in the match, was rebuffed by Luke, is looking absolutely heartbroken, stunned, shocked at ringside. A bloody and bruised but not beaten Chainsaw Luke Frehill cuts the promo of his life here with a segment rating of a 47. He clearly enjoyed the freedom of having to go off script. He's covered in bandages. He's covered in blood. He has Frankie's bat. He points the bat at Edward Stewart Tate. Says next month, Jingle Bell Brawl, Pegasus nightclub, Chainsaw Luke Frehill versus fucking Tucker. End of show, bitch. It was a good show. Very good show. Let's see. Address the locker room. Raven Creed, obviously, she put on the performance of the night. And Key Noonan was very good in this show, actually. Make that speech. Creed pleased. Noonan pleased. Financial report. Lost 900. Not too bad. Down 17k in total. Ticket sales over 200 and merchandise 46 though. We took in 250 on this show. We're still quite a ways away from covering costs. Let's have a look at the show cost. Normal miscellaneous a little bit up. Worker cost 750. We did add in a tag match. That would have been, let's say, under 700 had we not done a tag match and just done a singles match instead. Popularity has increased. We're up to 10. That'll help with both sponsorships and ticket sales, hopefully, because we do need that shit to increase. We're a year in. We have some more time before we need to start making money. We don't have to be back to even in that time. We just need to have months where we're in the green. But yeah, we have our main event set for the Jingle Bell Brawl. Chainsaw Luke Frehill versus Tucker for the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show Heavyweight Championship. We're here with the final show of today's episode, and it is Chainsaw Luke Frehill versus Tucker for the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show Heavyweight title. In the main event, Laura Di Matteo is over from England to take on Raven Creed for the women's heavyweight title. There's also an announcement by All Elite Morro, something major upcoming in the coming months. We've got BT Gunn over from Scotland to take on Ilya Zarkov. We've got TJ Charles has moved back from Barcelona to Ireland, so we don't have to pay for travel, so we're bringing him in to take on John McCann. And we got an Edward Stewart Tate promo to open the show. Huge show, massive ramifications. Christmas week 2026. Can you hear the jingle bells ring? Edward Stewart Tate says that Frankie Vendetta was supposed to be the most violent man in this great sport, but he let Tate down, and he will not be getting his the other 5k. He's not collecting the other 5k. Tate says it was silly enough to give him a 5k down payment, but he failed, and that the title will be on the line in tonight's main event. But as always, Edward Stewart Tate has some tricks up his slimy sleeves. Surprisingly, TJ Charles beats John McCann by submission in 10 minutes. Decent match. Another surprise, BT Gunn has beaten Ilya Zarkov. I don't know if that's much of a surprise, actually. I brought more from Scotland. He was rusty, but it will soon go away once he gets a few matches under his belt. And Laura Di Matteo has beaten Raven Creed in a shocking upset by submission. She wins the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show Women's Heavyweight Championship in a excellent match, let's be honest. Superb wrestling and good heat in this match. And it's All Elite Morro on the stick. TJ Charles was terrible with no script to follow. His dialogue was a mess. BT Gunn worked the crowd well. All Elite Morro has called out BT Gunn and TJ Charles out to the ring. And due to their victories tonight, they will both be entering the Battle of KK, the Battle of Kilkenny. 2 nights, January 2027. The Battle of KK, a 2-night tournament to crown the tournament champion. That's what it is, the Battle of KK. Battle of Kilkenny. 2 nights back to back. We're running a 2-night event, the Battle of Kilkenny, next month in January in the Pegasus nightclub. This will be the most prestigious tournament in Irish wrestling history. It will be held every year to start the year in January. It will be run over 2 nights, crowning the Battle of KK champion 2027. All Elite Morro says there are more names going to be added to this major landscape shifting tournament in Irish wrestling, and there's one more person in attendance who'll be entering this tournament who has requested to reveal themselves after the main event. Next up is the main event. A battered Chainsaw Luke Frehill, who went through hell to get to this night, is taking on Tucker in the main event. Best match in company history. Chainsaw Luke Frehill with a performance of 42. Tucker with a performance of 53. Chainsaw Luke Frehill defeats Tucker in 15 minutes with a Western Lariat. We had an Edward Stewart Tate run in. We have booked for Frankie Vendetta to run off Edward Stewart Tate. Let's see if it's in the booking details. Yeah, Frankie's supposed to be there. Frankie is there. Frankie's there. He runs off Edward Stewart Tate looking for his 5k. Chainsaw Luke Frehill defeats Tucker, wins the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show Heavyweight title. The Kilkenny Von Erich has fulfilled his destiny, overcome adversity, months of attacks by the Tate estate, months of uncertainty, injuries, ribs, shoulders, blood, bounties. And he has finally fulfilled his destiny as the Kilkenny Von Erich to become the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show heavyweight champion. Tucker was born motivated by my pre-show inspirational speech, as was Chainsaw Luke Frehill. That is the kind of leadership I bring in my role as head booker and part owner of the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. Luke Frehill finally crowned champion, but it's Matthew Bullet Smith has arrived. Matthew Bullet Smith has arrived. Faces off with Chainsaw Luke Frehill and declares he has been invited by All Elite Morro to enter the Battle of KK in January, and he'll be entering, and he's got his eyes on the top dog, Chainsaw Luke Frehill. Shock debut, huge debut, frankly. When I saw Matthew Bullet Smith was released unceremoniously from OTT, I said, you know what, there's a guy who I think has potential. Obviously a lot of other people don't see it up in the OTT backstage, but I see it. I believe in Matthew Bullet Smith. We'll give him a go next month in the Battle of KK and see how he gets on. And that is the end of the Jingle Bell Brawl. Is that what I call that show? Jingle Bell Brawl? What a name. 47 people in attendance. The anniversary show had more, but that's our kind of big show of the year at the moment. Fantastic show, fantastic main event. 2 new champions. We're going to praise Laura Di Matteo, rocked in, won a title night 1. A shock victory over Raven Creed, who was seemingly unbeatable. And Chainsaw, new champion, is going to be carrying this promotion forward. Laura Di Matteo seemed pleased. Chainsaw Luke Frehill seemed pleased. We lost 971 on the show. Standard. Took in 188 in ticket sales, 43 in merchandise. We're down 18k. The day is coming soon where we're going to have to start recouping some of that. We've increased our popularity again. I suppose we truly are. We're getting there towards being the top dogs in Ireland. We're still a little bit behind No Limit Wrestling. We're a long way off OTT, but we've got a stacked roster. Battle of KK, January 2027, coming up on the next episode. The in-ring debut of Matthew Bullet Smith in Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show Pro Wrestling, and a new champion, the hometown boy, overcame adversity, the Kilkenny Von Erich, Chainsaw Luke Frehill.